Our first homecoming of the 2024 PLL season is today in Albany, New York. The New York Atlas are welcoming the Boston Cannons. Paul Carcaterra, Ryan Boyle, Chris Cotter with you. Happy to have you along. And think about offensive lacrosse. It's fun to watch, and the Cannons are going to give us that today, aren't they?
They checked every box a season ago. In 2023, they were the scoring team in the PLL, the best shooting team in the PLL, best power play in the PLL, and they added some power in the offseason.
They did. 𝐿𝐵𝐴GER also scored. Really curious to see how 𝐵APTISTE fares in this game with no long pole staring him in the face.
And you know what's interesting? Right, we're talking in between games. I think we might see a shift back into the importance of the face-off guy now, based on the 32-second shot clock, 2 years, but no long pole allowed to face off. When you win a face-off, it's different when you don't have that 6-foot pole all over you.
Utah Archers had 𝐿𝐵𝐴GER dominating at the face-off dot in the first game, and they ended up away with a narrow 1-point victory. We're underway here in game 2 of the season, and it's 𝐵APTISTE the initial face-off. 𝐬𝐽𝐡 shooting and scoring. Well, welcome back, Doc 𝐬𝐽𝐡.
What Atlas will do, unlike Archers, they're going to flank 𝐵APTISTE with 2 offensive midfielders, and then they're going to have a third one actually on defense, so that after a win, he can fly up right up the field. So 𝐵APTISTE wins this face-off cleanly, doesn't have to worry about pressure, quickly gets rid of it. You've already got your offensive personnel on the field.
Yes.
And attack with urgency.
We were asking the Archers to do that by having 2 wing guys who are offensive-minded players. It changes the way that you can attack. Now, last year, if a guy like Trevor 𝐵APTISTE wins a face-off, he is being completely blanketed by a pole. You see how easy he's able to get that ball. Now the importance of these draws is different, and strategy around it with offensive guys like can make you pay.
Now here's where you don't want to get it down, around, through X. Just go to the rack.
We watched him work on this time and time again yesterday and just trying to perfect it. Look at 𝐬𝐽𝐡 trying to get through the teeth of that defense. Can't do it, loses it, but now they get it back. Still 7 seconds just to shoot, though. Excellent passing, and goal number 2 on the day, and it's Connor Schellenberger with his first as a member of the New York Atlas.
There's something subtle here in this goal by Schellenberger. Watch at the last second how he plants his feet hard while he shoots. His shoulders and his head stay high, and he plants his feet and he buries it low. That is subtle decision.
I can tell you from experience, coming into a locker room with a former teammate of Xander Dixon, and then formerly Doc's 𝐬𝐽𝐡, former Wahoo, that your transition to the locker room tremendously.
They won a national championship together in 2021. 𝐬𝐽𝐡, Dixon, Schellenberger. You could ask, what is it like to play pro lacrosse? He's got guys that could help him in terms of acclimating to the pro.
Connor Kirst almost got that one on net despite having 2 defenders over him. So our first opportunity to see the Cannons offensively. Good luck, Holman. Nice save! And another save! You gotta be kidding me. Troutner with not one, 2 great saves. I gotta see that again.
This is bonkers. Side of your screen. Look at this stop. Not once, but twice makes the stop. Look at the stick here out of desperation.
One-handed.
Renner just thought all I got to do is just throw it up toward the goal and it's going to go in. Troutner. Well, let me introduce you to our goalies on the day. Tim Troutner for the Atlas and Colin Kirst Cannons.
That's a big storyline. How long can Tim Troutner hold off Liam Entenmann, who was the 5th overall pick and a 2-time national champ?
Good start in answering that question. Campbell now for the Cannons. We talked about their offense off of last year and even adding to it in terms of personnel this year. Still, though, being held outside of that goal by Trout.
Remember, in 2019, Tim Troutner was the Rookie of the Year. I mean, he brought the Redwoods to the championship game. He's got ice in his veins in big moments. The last couple seasons statistically did not go the way that Tim Troutner wanted. Split some time with Jack Kelly, then ultimately lost the spot in the season. Mike Pressler acquires the goalie and then goes out and gets maybe the most pro-ready goalie in recent memory in Liam Entenmann, who's on the bench right now.
Jones on the run. Loses it, goes down to pick it up, gets inside the defense. He's not going to score either. Makes the save.
Got a crease violation.
Yep.
Turnover to the Cannons.
I think that ball hit the left iron. I
It
tell
hit
you,
the pipe.
this game pace already.
My
Great
goodness.
pace from the start.
Goalie's being tested big time. Here's Campbell.
Both these teams like to run. They like to get up and down.
Holman. Renaissance here for #1 in white last year. Playing for his dad. Looking to build on that year. He'll fire here. Seen all the way by Troutner.
Troutner's seeing the ball early. Quint, what are you seeing out of Troutner and Cage so far?
You know, I spent a lot of time talking with him yesterday, and I felt it was the most relaxed, calm, and self-assured that I've ever seen him. It's a young man who grew up in Annapolis, Maryland, played at St. Mary's, and then Point, a little kind of under-respected maybe, but his time is now, and I got a sense that he's ready for this summer.
Off to a great start here today. Atlas broke out to a 2-0 lead in the first minute of this game on the strength of face-off wins from Trevor Baptiste. Low shot by Xander Dixon, scoots one.
Got a quick release there. And that high crease you'll see tomorrow with the Chaos. Ty Kurtz, a similar player. He's got the inside game, but the 10-yard range to make it pay.
Schellenberger. Got it to Reed Bowering. Bowering fighting for it. Bowering's a guy who knows how to operate in space, but the Cannons come out of there with it.
That was Craig Chick, another new addition to this Cannons defense.
Yeah, they're banged up on the backside with Jake Pulver out just as of a couple of days ago. Minor injury for Pulver, but he wasn't able to go today, so Chick is getting the start.
And 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠 as well.
That's a little bit more of a major injury. Well, if you can't beat Troutner up close, you get it to Matt Campbell to fire from distance.
105 in terms of the gas. Welcome to the PLL, Pat Cavanaugh. Dealing like you always deal. Overtime winner comes out of the box. Pass. And the finish by Campbell. Little giddy up. Troutner's been spectacular, but not on this one. You will see Xander Dixon 10 in powder blue move a little bit this year off ball because he knows he's going to get the block from Schellenberger. Dixon in college was one of the best back pipe cutters in terms of Schellenberger sweeping from behind up the right side, Dixon on the back side of those cuts.
Kurtz with a nice save.
But between Dixon and Schellenberger has the smoothest transition out of any role, especially early on.
Good pass to Bubba Fairman in the hearing game. Here's Drenner now. Atlas scored the first two. Have come back with their own to tie this one up. Pass inside the Trenner. Nolting picks it up. He looks for a cutter. Finds Aslanian coming out. He got hammered.
So we're in 51 in white. Pat Cavanaugh, Tewaaraton winner, national champion twice at Notre Dame. He's playing midfield right now, and he is going to be a big problem in terms of his quickness and his vision from up top.
Drenner just gets thrown to the ground by Danny Logan. Comes back with it, though. Nice shot as he hits the backhand, and he Troutner with it.
Incredible creativity here by Drenner. After getting thrown to the ground by Logan, he stays with the play. And after picking up the loose ball, a twister. Here we're going to see it gets thrown to the ground. He picks this up, stays with it, and kind of a backhanded twister shot.
This is sick.
This is unbelievable.
You know what I loved about this? If you see Drenner's head, it looks like he's making a pass to Pat Cavanaugh. So I think the goalie, Troutner, is hedging that. And that's why he's out of position. If you see Troutner's probably 2 or 3 steps too high because he thinks he's passing that ball.
First lead of the day for Boston. Despite the fact that Trevor Baptiste is winning every draw.
Tell you, Drenner got pitchforked and didn't sulk. Made the next play. Great effort.
Now we're going to get a slash. Baptiste was just trying to run off the field and get it to an offensive player.
That's the right call.
And he's going to get a slash here against the Cannons.
Yeah, Pat Aslanian just gave him one.
Jonesy shooting with the left wide.
Boyle, I want to hear your explanation of this for a attackman riding with one hand on their stick. The best moment of that Syracuse game.
Cannons foul number 9, 1 minute, slash.
Call against Pat Aslanian. There he is, his brother, midfielder on this team as well.
You see right there, the reach over.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
What do you expect to happen?
I love the shrug of the shoulders, too, from Aslanian. Like, what?
This is a unit. Atlas on the power play. Fewest goals in the PLL on the power play in 2023.
Oh, he had Dixon.
Instead, the second one, that's T driving to the goal.
There's that quick from Schellenberger that I've seen a zillion times covering him. Ryan, just watch how quick he gets this pass off.
Well,
it's in his stick, and then it's bam.
It's a beautifully designed power play. To see Dixon on the near side, they don't have it. A quick ball reversal, and Van Rapport is just basically trapped between 2 guys. You can see Schellenberger, a quick manipulation. He turns his eyes up. That holds Van Rapport on the outside shooter, allowing the time for T into that dead area before delivering an on-point pass.
And he's able to do that because he doesn't have ball cradle and bring it back. He's able to drift the defense because the head of his stick just stays right by his head and his shoulder.
Yeah, young players are watching. Schellenberger plays with what I call a quiet stick.
Teat scores again. Let's find about that goal. Underneath the defender is in a matter of seconds.
A level of aggressiveness from Teat that we don't always see, and we always want a bit more of. You're going to see people come out with a little pressure. Teat goes underneath and then manipulates the stick, bends it back. A little twister. So Cursed body starts to go with Teat, thinking far pipe. Teat brings his stick back, finds pipe.
Here's the deal with Teat. A lefty wing guy who plays as a quarterback and can pass really well from that spot. Now that you have Schellenberger, I expect more aggressive plays from Teat as a goal scorer because you're getting the weight of the world off you in terms of being the quarterback and that guy behind.
2 ties, 2 changes early, so back and forth we go. Entertaining game here in the first quarter. Costabile, he got hooked. We're going to get a call here against the Cannons. As Bowering to take a shot, but high. Fairman, I think, is going to get pulled here.
Cannons foul number 2. 30 seconds.
And this is not a thing for the Cannons. Last year in the regular season, 27.5 penalty minutes. That was most in the league. Now, they usually did a good job of killing those off, around 60% penalty kill. But they tend to foul and allow their opponents these opportunities.
Absolutely. Average 3.4 penalty per game. Only team in the league with over 3 per contest. But when you're staring down a team that has a guy behind like Schellenberger and the wing power with Teat, this could be a problem.
Oh,
I'm telling you, this pass is elite. You take it for granted, right? We're moving the ball around. You just see Connor Schellenberger feeding the crease, but look how quick he gets it off.
And now teed up top. T cutting again, gets it. Bouncer, 𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢 is the better of them though.
Well, there's no wasted motion.
And now we're gonna get a call going the other way.
Schellenberger plays with a quiet stick, so it doesn't move a lot besides that box right next to his head, so he's able to be ultra efficient with his releases.
That's what I'm explaining. A lot of guys catch, they cradle.
Twister this time from the defensive midi, Jeff Trainer.
This is an area for the Cannons, if they can continue
that gets wiped out by the goal. Good goal, face off.
to strike in transition with guys like Trainer. You know their 6-on-6 offense is so deadly with Holman and Nolting and now Kavanaugh. If 𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢 can get the ball out from defense to offense and their short sticks can convert, guys with offensive experience. I mean, Bubba Fairman and Jeff Trainer were big-time offensive middies in college. Fairman at Maryland, Trainer at UMass. They are accustomed to scoring goals and running the field.
Yeah, I mean, from a roster construction perspective, the Cannons dress 3 offensive midfielders, now 4, I guess, with Pat Kavanaugh flexing. They have 3 two-way guys in terms of Bubba Fairman, 𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢, who they traded for, and Trainer. So they love to run from defense to offense, trap offensive midfielders, let those guys go.
Game within the game, Atlas, top face-off team in the league.
Oh! Bowering just got rocked. But he might get a good look here. He does! And he says, take that.
Never give up. Never, ever give up, Boyle.
I mean, we've seen hits by Garrett Epple take guys out of the game. So credit Bowering as Epple delivers the boom. He actually gets sandwiched between Epple and Fairman, stays with the play, just hops up and gets lost in the shuffle.
He got almost his helmet knocked off. Chin straps off. That dude is one tough customer. Just tell him to never give up on a play. Saw in game 1, 5 rebounds and crazy plays. Bowering right there with a huge, gritty G.
Atlas back on top. Schellenberger has a goal and 2 assists as he got a helper on that one. Tate with a shot. Right, 7 in blue is much more aggressive offensively than I remember him in the PLL.
Well, there's the weight of the world's off his shoulders. I mean, now you have this attack where Schellenberger can take a lot of volume in terms of carrying the ball and quarterbacking.
Alone.
Here he goes again and scores.
It's also unlocking his off-ball play. I mean, he is a fantastic cutter, finds open space, knows when to expand the lane or just sit in the soft spot zone. And now with Schellenberger manning that right side, not only as a feeder, but as a dashing threat. All eyes are on Schellenberger here, and T just gets lost, kind of cuts through the middle of the field there.
You can't focus on your ball when you're carrying an offense and you're the quarterback. Jeff Teet's always been an exceptional passer, but he does it from the high wing. So now when you have a guy at Connor Schellenberger, you're telling Teet from the high wing you can dodge more, you can cut more. There's so many more opportunities for this offense because of Schellenberger.
You're wondering why 𝐿𝐴 not out there. Got banged up during training camp. That would have been a very tough decision for Mike Pressler in terms of, like, what do I do with Law, Teet, Schellenberger, and Dixon?
Costabile's shot is snatched out of the air by 𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢. Trainer again. Gets it to the middle of the field. Van Raphorst can shoot, but that time Troutner saw it all the way. Now Van Raphorst will give chase and pick it back up. That'll be over and back. Yep, Palin with the call on the far side. Schellenberger's got 3 assists already today. And guess who has 3 goals? Teet.
Without a doubt, the Atlas across the board significantly improved this summer. They will not be an easy out. They will not be the cellar dwellers. Face-off strategy, enormously more aggressive and improved. Schellenberger, Aiken, a more settled defense. This team is legit this summer.
They were 2-9 last year, finished in 7th place. 7 of the 8 teams made the playoffs last year. They lost in the first round. Final minute of this first quarter. Highly entertaining quarter of lacrosse. You've had 7 lead changes and ties. It's now a 2-point advantage for the homestanding New York Atlas.
See the branding and
flags on the far side.
Looks amazing.
I love the old school logos on the berm as well, just on the other side of the end zone. There's Kavanaugh to his brother. 50 and 51. Here's Pat. Try to get it inside the still loose.
Second one, he's first in this first quarter.
Can the Atlas make something happen here in the final seconds? Teat, goal line extended.
Good time to go, a lot of green.
Checked by Epple, forces the turnover. The Kavanaugh shoots and scores! He was deking the defense a little bit with his brother riding shotgun.
I thought he was throwing it to 51. Little bro wanted it. Big bro said, I still got it.
Yeah, you can see him smiling there in transition. That little pump fake freezes Maycar, who I'm also thinking, no twos,
Yes.
nothing late. But that little pump freezes the defense. Atlas needed a better job communicating. Adler was actually behind the play, position to slide up. He needs to tell Maycar, take ball, I've got the trailer.
That pump fake was the difference of a defender in your hands and freeing up space to shoot.
First quarter in the books. Young Bucks making hay. It's Schellenberger, Pat Kavanaugh, but it's also the old as well. Teeter, the hat trick in the first quarter.
Double teams, and the focal point of every defense is to stop him. Now he's surrounding himself with all these stars. He can breathe and play his best game.
Look, Teese winning that face-off to himself. Gets it to a teammate. Now they can attack quickly. Baptiste just explodes off that face-off dot with possession. Costabile. He fires it high. He can put a lot of heat on that shot.
And they're right in their set. This differs from last year. Stacking, as Ryan alluded to, offensive personnel, both wings. It's get it and go.
I think that's spot on, Quint. I also think so much is based on the fact there's no long pole who's all over Baptiste, and that's going to take an extra 5 seconds to get that spot and free yourself up.
Over the back shot by Teat.
Urgency. Think about also, too, boy, your escapes after you win a faceoff, when you're not worried about a pole harassing you, the offensive player or the short stick that you're facing off against almost concedes to the fact, I can't beat this guy, and you don't him overextending on the faceoff guy, Baptiste.
So that's spot on. So in previous years when you had the long pole there, okay, we're going to shut everybody else off. We're going to dare you to kind of go one-on-one. Now with the short stick there, if you do that strategy, if you shut adjacent, I can go on the short stick. Okay, we don't do that. Well, now I have an easy transfer.
Good.
Drenner down the alley. Now he's behind with Asher Nolting. Up top. Picked up by Aslan. Here's Holman. Is it high? Here comes Nolting. Trying to use that physicality.
That's an interesting match.
That shot. Oh, you got to be kidding me. I said look at that shot before he even shot it.
Quint, what's it like field level?
That's an interesting matchup when you've got Adler trying to cover the big man there. We got 100 pounds, 75-pound difference. You guys tell me. And Nolting is just refusing to stop and keeps his body moving at goal line extended. Curls, turns inside, and then goaltender Troutner takes the bait, and he flips it past him.
Those are college teammates going head-to-head. Asher Nolting and Tim Troutner from the same school. High Point playing for John Torpy. It looks like just too many fakes on Troutner. But he eats the checks, and he ate the double from Makar.
I mean, the Cannons have more backhanded and twister goals. I feel like they just have like normal, standard, overhand 3-quarter shots.
Jones. Get it behind. Schellenberger. Unsettled situation here for Schellenberger on the far side. Teat. That one is deflected before it even gets to the goal.
Schellenberger's processing speed is already in sync with the program. That's how advanced his mind is. He can play at this accelerated pace. It's no big deal. He is going to be a superstar.
That one also deflected. Schellenberger's shot. Kirst is there to make the save. 𝐲𝐫𝐢𝐬 thought about firing it. Jonesy might do that. Gets a better angle for the shot. They are just peppering shots on Kirst.
They had T on the opposite side, and Jones just kept that going.
You know, Quint was alluding to the fact of Schellenberger and IQ and the way he sees things.
42 on the
Fix the
shot
clock
clock.
here.
42, we should have had a reset. We 10 more seconds.
21 shots. 21
Had a
shots.
reset, we played 10 seconds.
Thank you, Maddie.
But when you look at Schellenberger, there's players, one is to the of us, that play the attack that don't only know what they're supposed to be doing, but the other 5 guys. He's one of them. Boyle happens to be part of the fraternity.
Definitely to the right of us, not to the left of us.
I was going to say the comp is Ryan Boyle and Mikey Powell as rookies.
Skip all the way to 𝐲𝐫𝐢𝐬. Gets it back to his left, and the slide comes. Van Raphorst is all over him. Now Zand surveying the defense. Tries to feed it inside and behind the back shot from Bowering. These shots are coming from all over the place.
Yeah, offensively, this is going to be an elite passing team. They're looking for the home run pass on that last possession instead of just making the simple pass and getting the ball.
Last 7 shots. I feel like all 7 of those were soft. Shot clock the shot clock violation, so they just dump it into the corner.
No boy.
And Ryan, you can allude to or describe what it's like just to make the right pass, the next pass, as opposed to looking for the assist every time. Hunting assists instead of hunting
sometimes
the right play.
hardest pass is just the next one right in front of you, keeping the engine and the defense waiting.
Pat Cavanaugh.
And it really is a cultural thing when once you start getting everybody to buy in, just make a simple play, then Gips unlock themselves. If you're kind of always hunting that, then kind of guys start to get a little selfish, looking for the assist that's going to lead to the goal as opposed to the next pass. And lack of practice for Schellenberger doesn't really necessarily hurt him that much. Like, he just could go out and play. If that makes sense. Like, you're almost your high school, you're just like, okay.
Oh, hit the pipe. Xander Dixon. Little shot himself. Trainer picks it up.
Well, I think the PLL style of the PLL lends itself to that too. The quick shot clock, it relies on you making lacrosse decisions. You know, the ball's not marinating on possession. You have to use your lacrosse brain to figure out how you're going to win matchups, how you're going to find seams in a defense, to use all those tools that you have, your quick lever passes.
Well, what I meant by that is you don't have to worry about the scout and the opponent. Right now, the Cannons are adjusting to Schellenberger more than he's adjusting to them.
Kirst steps his foot inside the line and scores.
This was a beautiful shot by 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢, and in the offseason, that man right there, Brian Holman, decided to take 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢, who played for the Whipsnakes, as a short stick D midi and make him play offense like he did in college, because he's got a shot like this, Boyle.
You're gonna go under, you're gonna give me room, I'm gonna make you pay. 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢, the two-way midfielder, playing with his brother. Cannons up by 1.
Duo in the PLL, and that team went from the basement to the top in almost every offensive category.
And credit offensive coordinator Jim Mitchell for the system that he's employed. Because going into last year's regular season, we were kind of like, where are these goals come from? I don't think anybody predicted best offense in the league.
And Miles Jones loses it. Van Raaphorst comes out of there with it.
Mitchell's offense is always shoot with great angles. And no surprise, top shooting team in the PLL from a shooting percentage perspective. And they have all the tools, and now you add Pat Cavanaugh here. He can be one of those X factors where you can flex him all over the field.
They've shot 5 of their last 9, the Cannons have.
And obviously, Nolting and Holman are the key guys, but we've got 7 goals, 6 different goal scorers.
Here's Pat Cavanaugh on 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢, so he's got a shorty on him. That's the one thing when you think about Pat Cavanaugh. When was the last time you were checked by a shorty in a game? Campbell. Oh, beautiful save by Troutner.
The answer's never, Cotter.
Never.
That was great offense. The way Nolting set a pick, he got the mismatch, he moved it, everything but the shot.
Check out the save in the lower left. 5 saves for Troutner, first time in a while.
How about the strength of Nolting to get that one-handed pass off as the Atlas timeout?
7-6, Boston with the lead. New York and their head coach Mike Pressler want to talk things over. Pressler also the high school lacrosse coach at Highland Park and the Dallas area. Dallas Metroplex lacrosse is exploding, both boys and girls lacrosse in that area. He's a big part of that growth.
Ryan Boyle's coach on Team USA in 2010. What's it like playing for Coach Pressler?
Passion, vision, loyalty, and then anybody else outside the locker room, it doesn't matter. All noise, it's all about in here.
Great weekend to see this. We call it the greatest draft. Generational talent, Schellenberger. We'll see O'Neal tomorrow. We see certainly a guy like Pat Cavanaugh today. We saw Matt Brandow first game. All these players that had great college careers. These attackmen. Last year was a defensive-oriented draft and a lot of great young defensive players. This year, so much talent. Q, what do you got with us?
I got Coach Pressler, and I was saying how this team is upgraded, without a doubt. Well, exactly.
Camp, we like the 19 we got dressed here, and 20 and 21. We're going to be very competitive in this summer, without question.
What are your initial of Schellenberger?
He's everything and more. And it shows you at half of practice, he's in the starting lineup. So here you go.
The processing speed, like his mind is already racing at this pace.
Put him and together, that's quite a duo there. One on the right side, one on the left, and very, very pleased with our start today.
And you've upgraded your face-off strategy, Coach. It's been outstanding.
A little different, a little new, but again, taking advantage of Trevor. Yeah. You got the king, you gotta make him pay.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, the king, and certainly Trevor Baptiste. That shot doesn't get through. Looked like that might have hit Epple. Epple probably didn't even feel that.
You know, we
Epple ducked it and hit him in the head.
We talk about draft picks all the time, and so much is the fit too. And I think Connor Schellenberger, I have him as the second-rated prospect, but I actually thought he would go number 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the big board as opposed to the mock draft, because I felt like the Outlaws from Denver needed a quarterback. Well, the Atlas needed one as well, and I just feel like from a fit perspective, this is a big-time spot for him.
Trenner showing his slickness around the cage. First of all, he had the backhand twister, and now quickness in terms of picking up the loose change and depositing it.
Drenner last year led this midfield in points, and you think Knowlton, Holman, right? This is really the third guy of this group that makes it work, and his ability to do a little bit of everything. Remember, back at Towson, he was an ex-attackman, and he really converted his game to be able to play on the wings, play up top, developed his outside shot where he's a lethal threat with both hands, time and room, run. You've got to give this guy a credit for his evolution. He's also played on multiple franchises. He's found a home here with Boston.
He has. And interesting about this midfield group, Pat Cavanaugh, two-handed ex-attackman quarterback in college. Ryan Drenner, ex-attackman, two-handed quarterback in college. And then Matt Campbell is a midfielder with two hands too. So two of those guys are getting short sticks.
Alone.
New York 0 for their last 10 shooting. Schellenberger inside. Oh, that'll change quickly. Two former teammates, Schellenberger, Dixon, put one on the board for the Atlas.
Get used to that one. You're going to see a lot of that. DJ Ralphie.
Oh, DJ Ralph is back. What a lot of people don't know is that DJ Ralph is an inspiration to a lot of young people, including somebody in this booth starter. Wow, that guy's an inspiration to a lot of young people as well as Xander Dixon. All of a sudden killing it with a couple of quick ones.
Boyle's daughter will be the next prolific DJ. But the combination right now of Schellenberger and Dixon in this Atlas offense is formidable. And don't forget, you got Jeff Teat on the wing, but Xander Dixon catches this ball and then he drops his stick low. This one motion, a catch, a drop, and a sting.
So hard to track if you're a goalie, and if Dixon is constantly in motion. So annoying to cover, and normally like you have to worry about one guy feeding, right? An off-ball guy, like, oh, he's the quarterback, he's gonna throw the ball. When you're flanked by Teat on the left and Schellenberger on the right, who both then can create their own shot, so I gotta worry about potentially sliding and cover this guy?
I think the biggest thing too, Ryan, is last year when they had Chris Gray, who's a fantastic righty wing guy, you had two wing guys, but you never really felt like behind the cage was taken care of.
Trainer for two, bounces it high.
And Gray didn't like operating behind the cage. That wasn't his sweet spot. He likes to be on that right wing and up above the cage.
All knotted at 8 as our clock ticks toward the 2-minute mark here in this first half. Cavanaugh over to his brother Pat on the far side. Asher Knowlton. Knowlton just putting his shoulder into the defender. Now down the alley. Skips it to the far side, too high, and it's an unforced turnover. Go the other way. Fourth turnover of the day for the Cannons. Carpenter. Just a couple of weeks ago, he was wearing a Duke uniform. Now it's an Atlas blue, different color blue. He's going to have to get used to this shade of blue.
The coaching staff is raving about Carpenter in camp this week.
Ground ball machine.
Alone.
Atlas moving the ball. Costabile now back to Schellenberger. Schellenberger now GLE looking for a pick. You can see Dixon comes off that pick and he immediately looks for the ball. Gets it. He's not in a good spot here, though. 6 to shoot. Schellenberger's got to make something happen. Takes a peek at the clock. Oh!
My gosh!
Dixon rolls, almost no angle. Ouch! And scores. That had all of us in awe.
To the roof.
Low angle, low shot clock. Just yanks this. Beautiful lead pass by Schellenberger. Again, the chemistry. He knows exactly what Dixon wants. Quick little inside roll. He recognizes Goodrich over-rotating, overplaying that. Drops his hands and just yanks it.
He never drops his head or his shoulders. That's 2 shots in a row. One was with a little range, this one in tight. We're seeing masterful stick skills, deception. Shot Xander Dixon that is just downright dirty.
5 assists for Schellenberger.
I mean, Connor Schellenberger, your stat keeper on that one for the assist. Tip stat keeper.
He might be in record territory. We want to keep that going.
You know what's nuts about this game is we're seeing such a different look from the Atlas with such high expectations from the Cannons based on last season, and then the influx of talent on defense and Pat Cavanaugh. They're playing probably as bad as they could, and they're down by a goal.
Yeah, I mean, we're giving Schellenberger all of his flowers. Meanwhile, Cannons are like, it's a 1-goal game.
Troutner on the stop. On a shot. You do have a flag down all the way back on the other side of the field. Oh, we're going to get another one there. Matt Cavanaugh is going to get a hold. Atlas are going to keep playing all kinds of laundry on the field. It's going to take us a little while to sort this out. At least 2 different penalties.
The half's going to start with a penalty, so start with a face-off.
Now we get a whistle.
Too many for the Atlas. You
Yeah.
count them up. They had too many.
And he's going to get some airtime here.
Slow down. Number 8, White. From down here? From down that corner. Okay, well, he called.
And then we had 50 White with a
Yep, perfect. So 50, and who's got the slash? Number 8, White. Okay. 2 fouls on the play, both against the Cannons. 8 for the Cannons, 1 minute slash. 50 for the Cannons, 30-second technical hold.
Well, the hold's on Cavanaugh. The slash is not on Adam Gittleman. He's 8 White, and he's the backup goalie.
Yeah, I was just talking to him. He's got the iPad. It wasn't on him. They got to shoot this, by the way. Possession does not carry.
Yeah, let's bring it up earlier.
So you got to screen the goalie here, throw a bunch of guys inside, and send it down low at their
That's
feet.
why I would have shot this way earlier to get the 2-man penalty in like a short clock with maybe I think there was like 10+ seconds.
Right.
The first penalty was on Matt Cavanaugh. He was slashing someone late, and those Cavanaughs love to get after it.
You do have Trevor Baptiste who will start the second
Yes.
half with a face-off, so you got that going for you.
Which is nice.
I know. Pete ran 70 yards to tell me that there's an 8 out there.
You're either shooting this right
Can we
away
look at
or you're
that
trying
play
to
quick? I
feed
need
somebody
the
off
number.
of
The field
It's
slash the guy in the
51.
corner.
screen
Matt,
inside.
Just tell Matt Palem it's 51. I caught it with my own eyes.
Right.
He's looking at the
Talking
iPad to
about
see the
Pete.
first slash,
Peter Buchanan ran 50 yards.
and he said it was 8. So Baptiste is 15 of 17 in the first half.
51.
So he was 51.
Could be a Slanian 9. Or even his brother Chris is 3.
No, it's 51.
Oh, 51.
No, he's talking about Pat Aslani. There's 3 brothers on the Cannons.
1 minute.
There's
So
Yeah, I know,
it's
but
on the brothers.
I'm talking
Yes,
about
Lonnie
the
and
penalty.
Yeah, the
Curse and
penalty is on
Kavanaugh.
I'm
both of
talking
them.
about the penalty.
So it wasn't 8, it was 51.
it's the Hanson brothers.
As the horn sounds to end this first half. Dominance continues for Trevor Baptiste at the faceoff dot, and it's not just the dominance, but it's what the Atlas have been able to do in the 32 seconds after winning the possession on the faceoff, similarly to what we saw with Archers in the first game with Sisselberger.
And they're up 2 men right here on this power play.
Good look inside. Finished by Ronan Jacoby.
Jacoby blew up in the championship series. He did not play last regular season as a member of the Archers, exploded back in February. It's basically like a tryout. And Mike Pressler of the Atlas took notice, picked him up, and have added him to this left side. Gorgeous skip pass there by Teat, and Jacoby wisely takes one more step upfield to increase his angle.
You know, Jacoby's in an interesting spot because there's a lot of right-handed players on this Atlas offense, right? The only mainstay with the left hand is Jeff Teat. So from a power play perspective, you need balance, and Jacoby will get plenty of opportunities.
Both teams at full strength. Baptiste got rid of it. Teat. 𝐲𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐬 puts his shoulder into the defender to get some space. Not enough, though. Fairman stays with him. Now Teat. Had Xander Dixon cutting, couldn't connect with him. Look at Teat battling for the ground ball, though. Cutting in front, Dixon got hammered. And the flag comes out. They're going to get 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐬 here.
I thought that was a push without possession.
Yeah, this might be a flag based off of the name on the jersey.
Cannon's foul on number 52. 1 minute, unnecessary roughness.
You know, I could see the Atlas retaining possession. Where was the ball, though? Was the ball in his stick when the contact happens?
No.
No.
The ball was already out.
That was
ball.
Very, very ticky-tack. You know, Epple's brought in by Brian Holman to restore order in the universe, especially in front of the net for the Cannons. He's doing his job there. That he caught a tough break.
Minute power play for the Atlas. 2 for 3 on the day, so very effective so far, which is a nice change also for Coach Pressler. Teat. Behind the back, 𝐬𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐬 gets it back to Teat up top. Fires it through the defense, and they score.
This is an incredible pass by someone who throws a through ball as well as anyone. Jeff Teat to Schellenberger, parked on the backside, Boyle.
Beautiful ball movement. They're just in a simple 3-3 with Teat playing that top middle spot. And after they move it around, he's gonna look at that low right defender. Once he sees Bryce Young start creeping upfield, then he knows he's got to skip to Schellenberger. So Teat's reading that 2-on-1. He's got Schellenberger down low, and he's reading Bryce Young, whether he's gonna hold there or rotate up to the shooter 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐬.
I'll tell you who else was reading that play was Schellenberger. He's on the backside. If he comes too high, he's going to walk into the pressure of the defense. By staying low, he's able to find the seam, and you have to rely on your low shooting angle capabilities there, and Schellenberger obviously can do it. But I thought he was really smart in terms of holding his ground and not coming too high into the pressure of the D.
2 straight power play goals for New York means they've got their largest lead of the day at 3 goals, but an offside is going to give it back to the Cannons. Here comes Holman. He'll shoot and score. That was too easy for one and white.
It was, and if you watch him from a tendency perspective, Marcus Holman loves to sling this ball high typically. And he plays a little bit of a trick game on Tim Troutner, the goalie. We've seen so many of these times on a slow break, time and room, he pounds an upper corner. This time he goes low.
And it's off of a careless, unforced turnover by Atlas. An offsides penalty off of a face-off win, which has really plagued them last year. They really struggled with that at times, have cleaned it up. Their post-face-off win strategy has been sound so far today. One error, and Cannons make them pay.
Kark, on that shot, one real question. How does Marcus know not to shoot it high there? He's giving him the high motion, goalie takes it, and then he changes his mind and shoots it low. Like, what's he reading from the goaltender?
You know, Tim Troutner is probably guessing high, but what makes that shot so effective, Quint, is the fact that from that same release point, he can pick and choose. So if he thinks that Troutner's hedging high, there's no tendency in Marcus's game from a release standpoint that's going to tell Troutner he's going high or low. Troutner's going to track a high shot because so many of Holman's shots in the past are for corners in there.
Yes, and from 10 yards with his feet set, he's like a sidearm high guy all the time.
But the beauty of it is from that same release point, he could go low. There are some shooters out there that when they drop their stick, they always go high. When they have their stick high, they like to go low. From the same release point, he changes the levels of his shot.
Shot clock violation on the other end. So Cannons, Drenner finding a man out of the box. It's Campbell, gets it back to Drenner. Rolls free from the defense. Through pass up top, Campbell scores. Good look by 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚𝐥.
That's spot on, Cotter. This is a beautiful through pass by 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚. The advantage is going to be gained out of the substitution box. And once this Cannons offense gets you spinning defensively, good luck. Drenner does a good job just pushing that forward. Atlas collapses defensively on the interior. 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚 throws that through pass, and Campbell makes him pay.
I think the patience of Drenner was the reason for that play. He comes out of that roll. You thought maybe he's going to shoot it with his left hand, but to kick it to 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚, who was behind the goal, that allowed the defense to kind of converge from Drenner to 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚 that ultimately opened up that skip pass.
And in spite of Baptiste's dominance at the faceoff X, it doesn't look like either one of these teams is going to run away and hide from the other. Although with easy goals like that from Ronan Jacoby, check that, that's Bowering inside. And a few more of those and New York might be pulling away.
Yeah, the two lefty midfielders, 98 and 88, are doing no favors for you, Cotter.
Killing me today.
But again, urgency off the face-off win. They get it right to Jones, who attacks the cage. Wisely just move the ball in front. And this is what having 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚 on the left side and Schellenberg on the right side. If you're 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚 or Jones, you're going to draw a slide. Just move it forward and then let them dissect from there.
There are a ton of great attackmen in this league. There's 8 teams, there's 24 incredible attackmen. But what team has a duo that can pass like 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚 and Schellenberger?
Well, we're talking about Schellenberger in his day, and 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚's like, I got 7 points.
Yeah, and I've led the league in assists before. So now you have these two distributors of the lacrosse ball that are going to change everything that you do. And everyone on this offense now is going to move differently.
And defensively, if you're the Cannons, you've got to tighten it up inside. Bryce Young just behind the player in the slot area. And I talked to Kyle Hartzell about their interior defense. He said, we've got to play sides better and get through the traffic.
Troutner, no problem with that. Matt Kavanaugh shot, but then Kavanaugh on the ride lays the lumber. Every Kavanaugh rides. It's just a part of their DNA. And it gets possession back to the Cannons. And little brother Pat making his debut today.
Yes, invert. We'd like to see more of this.
Yeah.
Well, Troutner came out to meet him, GLE. Goes back to X up top. Slanian shoots. He can fire it from distance, but Troutner is there. Good outlet pass.
And a high IQ fan base not reacting to the shot that hit the side of the net.
Come on, man. You're up in Albany, upstate New York.
Right.
They know their lacrosse.
Kobe Smith shoots and scores.
_101 miles per hour. You know, for me, I think so much of it is allowing Jeff Teat to have other parts of his game flourish, right? Instead of just marinate on the left wing and being responsible for quarterbacking the team. Now you're seeing him play off ball, right? He's still doing his typical dodging and getting underneath defenders and feeding from the left wing, but you're seeing him kind of in different parts now.
Costabile, tough angle, wasn't able to beat Kirst. Van Raphorst, good GB, comes out of there with it.
This is what Atlas need to clean up. Cannons love to run.
And they love to run with 77. He gets rid though because he can shoot. Back to 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚 behind the cage. He's checked by Adler.
Leverage game for Adler.
Steered aside by Troutner. Holman is there.
It feels like Knowlton can get that whenever he wants.
Are you surprised they don't have 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐬 on him, who's a bit physical?
I asked Pressler, and he said he's just going to try to lean on his head.
Kavanaugh. Back to the middle of the field. Coleman up top. Kirst. Now the help comes. Back to Kavanaugh in front. Tried to get it to his brother, but it goes wanting. And over back. Change of possession. Carpenter quickly gets it to Teat. If Teat's passing the ball, anybody can score. 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚𝐥 this time.
Restart ready.
Get it down the side and let your quarterback dissect and decide whether or not. This is a personnel decision for Teat. Get it down the side. Earlier he hit Kobe Smith knowing he's got range. Here he sees 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐳, knows that he can step into this. Understand the game, the flow. Teat is in full command right now. He's got the last 5 assists and 6 of the last 7.
These two have a lot to cheer about. New York Atlas, homecoming game, week 1 up in Albany. This is the first season where there's the regional and geographical affiliations to these clubs, and got to think there's going to be some equity in these towns like Albany in terms of coming out and the league doing a job branding, making the fan experience have that buzz and feel around your squad.
There's also that, you know, when you're cheering for the team on the front of your jersey, you don't like the other town.
No.
You know, like, I mean, New York and Boston, they're not going to like each other, and that's what you need. Kavanaugh, he's going to draw the penalty, and things are getting physical. Look out.
Here we go. Here we go.
𝐻𝐺 jumps into the mix. You got Rexroad in the middle of it. You've got Brett Makar in the middle of it. Danny Logan, Kobe Smith.
Isn't there a Ranger game tonight?
There is. And you know, a lot of these players involved in that very scrum are going to keep an eye on that Panthers-Rangers game later. But first things first, they want to come away with the dub here, and Palin doesn't want to hear a word about it.
Matt Kavanaugh's doing time. He threw a punch.
Let's go to the videotape.
Peyton Rizanka, looks like he was involved a little bit. We'll wait to get it all cleared up from Palin.
They pound him, but it honestly,
30-second technical push. The remainder of that play is under review.
It's all kind of just like, you mentioned hockey. It's like the end of a hockey game in a playoff scrum, you know? It's a few face washes here and there, but there's nothing really egregious in there.
No, but also I thought.
Agree? What are you saying? He
Well,
threw
no,
a punch.
I'm saying
prior to the punch.
Yeah, prior.
Punch is
I'm
egregious.
saying prior to that, when it was everybody just got together.
Look, here's the deal. The Kavanaughs like to be scrappy. The Atlas were scrappy on Matt Kavanaugh. Nothing beyond that. He threw the punch.
Yes, I'm saying.
He did the typical Kavanaugh stuff, right? Like, that's what he likes to do, and that's how he likes to play, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Look at Pinheiro trying to grab some jerseys and pull those guys out of the mix.
My point is,
this is not going to go well for the Cannons now. You're down 5, and you're looking at a multi-minute penalty here.
My point is, the Kavanaughs love to play scrappy, and I applaud the way they play, all right? I love the way they play. Atlas were giving them a dose of their own medicine, just being ultra scrappy, and Matt didn't like it.
Here's the hit from behind.
That's the hit from behind.
And they call the penalty. Okay, that little one more.
All right.
Watch a left hand thrown by 50.
It was that cross check from Rexroad that kind of put Kavanaugh on tilt.
Over the
So
top.
left hand over the top.
So we got the push is over with. What I want to do with Kavanaugh and Rexroad, I got you. Rexroad cross-checked him to start it. Cav actually threw 2 points. We're going to give Cav 2 minutes, Rexroad 1 minute, and the original guy for the push. So the push was on 43.
That's Makar.
Yeah, we don't don't throw people out for punching. Slow down.
Watching the replay, you could see where the Rex Road cross check probably made
Just hold
Kavanaugh
on for a
pop.
second.
That's exactly what I said, yeah.
22, cross check, 1 minute. Kavanaugh throws a punch.
There's another one.
I think, how about we go minute on each of them? All right.
Very diplomatic.
Yeah.
Caleb.
After review, 50 for the Cannons, 22 for the Atlas. Each have 1 minute unsportsmanlike conduct, full-time serve penalties. The original penalty on 43 for the Atlas is a 30-second technical push. The Cannons will have the ball, 5 on 4.
I think Maddie did a good job of kind of deciphering what was a actual penalty versus just a bunch of noise, frankly.
It was, but I'm a little surprised just by one thing. The team that throws a punch.
Palem. Yeah, Palem dealing with Michael Rexrode. Rexrode turned to me, he says, if I knew I'd get a minute, I would have thrown a real punch. He then walked up to Palem, and Matty gave him a cross-checking, like you cross-checked him in the face. And now Rexrode is having a seat in the penalty box.
I like the fact that no one's getting ejected for that because it was a lot of nothing. But at the end of the day, the team that does throw the punch is on the winning side of this.
That is true. That is true. Because they got 2 men in the box for the Atlas and 1 for the Cannons. So it'll be 5 on 4 temporarily.
Top power play unit in the league last year.
Holman, he'll shoot from 2. The bouncer can't beat Troutner. So now the Atlas will look to kill off the remaining 10 seconds of this man down. 9 saves for Troutner. That won't help. Ball's on the ground. Troutner's going to go pick it up. Now he chucks it downfield. Van Raphorst is going to come out of there with it. Just a lot of clock ticking off right here.
What scares you if you are the New York Atlas? The #1 2-point team in the league last year was the Cannons. So down 5, they can make this thing a 2 or 3 goal game in the blink of an eye.
It's 5 on 5 here for a bit. No, 6
Even
on
now.
6. Yep, you're right.
Danny Logan is out there playing with a pole. The best short stick in the world, number 91. He's sliding right there.
Had a really good opportunity to get it to Matt Kavanaugh. Just too high on the pass. Turnover. So resetting before all that Michigas, if you will. If Teat has taken this game, it's a 5-point lead for the Atlas. We've been going back and forth all game long. And Jeff Teat, Connor Schellenberger, and the Atlas have really taken over here in the third quarter.
Alone, Jack!
Here's Dox Aitken. Over to Miles Jones. Jones bounces it too high.
How about this midfield unit of Jones, Aitken, and Costabile? That's some beef.
That is, yeah, those are some heavy hitters right there. Teat, loses his defender and scores easily. Yeah, Eppel on skates.
You got beef and you got skill.
Second time today, the Teat has just gone right at this matchup against the reigning defensive player of the year. This Cannons defense last year got torched at times in the offseason. They get Eppel via free agency and trade for Young and Kirst. Their close defense totally revamped. You thought this was going to be an area of strength, and Teat is just taking Eppel's lunch.
I like the way he rejects the pick.
Yes. He had Eppel thinking, right?
Eppel's probably 2 or 3 steps away from trying to fight through the pick, and then when he rejects it, he gets underneath Quint.
Career high 10 points for Teeter. And we are still in the third quarter. And Trevor Baptiste is still winning faceoffs. Again, on 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚𝐥. 𝐬𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐳 thought about it. 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐳. Nice catch behind the cage by Schellenberger to Teet near side. Gets it back to 𝐬𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐳. Used his defender as a screen. Nice, actually. That's a really nice save by Colin Kurst.
Watch the trailer.
Defend the two in transition.
Van Raphorst wide.
Yeah, he can hit it from two. He had 4 last year with the long ball I mentioned earlier. Number 1 from 2-ball city.
Yeah,
that was an Atlas weakness last
maybe
transition
like you can
defense.
Move Raphorst up to be LSM if you have a healthy 𝐎𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐳, which they do not. And Pulver's hurt as well. Bouncer just dangerously in front of the cage. Troutner tried to go out there to get it. Touched it outside of the crease, so it's stay with Cannons. Minute 5 left to go in this third quarter. Seen a little bit of everything in this game. Here's Knowlton. Inside, Kurst finishes it off.
Beautiful spot feed by Knowlton. You've got 𝐬𝐈 anticipating a 2-man game. So the same way Teet denied the pick on the other side, you're going to get Kurst acting a pick. He gets 𝐬𝐈 cheating out, and he just slides interior. Knowlton feeds him, puts a little touch on that, allowing Kurst to step into it. One pump and finish.
Kurst would not have scored that goal in college. He's played a bunch of box lacrosse now, and you see the way that he's rolling off of that pick eventually, right? Like he thinks that maybe, okay, I'm going to set the pick at the last second. He changes his mind, and he rolls off of that. But the awareness to prematurely dump out of that 2-man game was why he's able to find that spot.
Good.
Oh, the feed inside to get it to Xander Dixon. I don't know how that got through all that traffic. 25 seconds still. Inside, and Kurst is getting peppered from all different directions in every single play on the field.
And Bowering really worked for that. There was a lot of action off ball.
Yes. Ten seconds left in the third quarter. Can Pat Cavanaugh make something happen? He's going to have a tough angle. Just shoots it high.
Cameraman had a duck behind the progressive sign there for dear life.
PLL, we got cameramen on the field, running with the play. Horn sounds to end the third quarter. Coach Holman knows his team can score in bunches, but they're going to have to in the fourth if they want to come up with a W today. 12 minutes still to go here from Albany. The New York Atlas looking to send their hometown fans home happy with the lead as we head to the fourth.
Where does that edge show up?
It shows up in film. It shows up out here on the field. It shows up in their conversations with each other. Nothing better than looking in the eye that you love and you trust and telling them the truth. And I think that happens a lot with us.
What needs to change right now, Coach, in terms of this game right here?
They just need to make a play. They've been playing really, really well. I give them a ton of credit. Much better than us. So we just need to get a stop, and this game can change quick. You guys know that, right? You know, just one or two plays there, so we'll see.
Thank you. That's one right there.
Pipe.
Yep. Pipe. Sometimes you need a little luck. Maybe that'll help the Cannons get back into this thing, but it's still possession with New York, and it's the man of the match. 7 in blue, Teet. What a pass to 𝐬𝐈, but a save by Kurst. Stays with Bowering, though, in New York.
Fresh 32.
Goodness. Jeff Teet is seeing this field. He's like Gretzky-esque, seeing where everything is going before it happens today. Docks scores.
It just seemed like 𝐬𝐈 scoring was an inevitability of that possession. 3 shots on Cage. Kurst made 2 beautiful saves. Kark, how good has Aiken looked today after an entire year off? I mean, in training camp, I was talking to a couple of teammates. They were like, it's like he never put the stick down.
Yeah, he's an elite athlete. He made a run at playing professional football, has kept his body in prime shape. He's such a two-handed force. He's the leading goal scorer from the midfield in Virginia lacrosse history. You know it's just a matter of time. And the physical presence of Doc Aiken, he can mix it up. He loves to soak checks. This could be one of the breakout players in the PLL this season.
There you see the face-off strategy. Baptiste is taking a break. So Danny Logan takes the draw and didn't even want to pick up the ball because he didn't want to get possession.
It's the second time they've employed that strategy where they're going to win it but send it back to the other side to force clear and an offensive possession. 32.
I like it as a change of pace, right? Because you guarantee the possession when you have Baptiste, but if you want to change the flow of this game, if you roll someone else out and let them just win, force a quick clock.
Well, especially on the previous possession where Trevor stayed out. Got cat and mouse gamed.
Kavanaugh loses it, gets it back, and then shoots it with the left.
And keep in mind, gentlemen, the Atlas play tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You know as well as anybody wearing that Joel Damon hat you're wearing down there, that bucket, that it is hot. And you want to protect yourself from the sun at all costs today, especially the Atlas. You got to reserve a little bit.
Experience with quick turnarounds, a lot of these players. Trevor Baptiste and others that have played in the World Championships. In that format last year in San Diego, you play back-to-back. Won't take this volume of face-offs.
Well, and previously it was a 5-game weekend where it was a Friday night game, and then both those teams played on Sunday, but you had that day of rest, game, get off your legs. Different animal with the back-to-back days, and this is the late game on Saturday, too.
The home team will play the doubleheader. So this week it's New York. Next week it's the Carolina Chaos down in Charlotte. The week after, the Philadelphia Water Dogs will play doubleheaders.
Cursed. Fires it to a teammate. That's Holman.
There's the high heat you wanted, Kark, or you spoke of.
Yes, give it to me.
And it's also an offensive two-way guy in Kirst, and you talked about that earlier too. The benefit of having 34 in white that can play on the defensive end and give you an offense.
Oh, he's got 2 goals and an assist by my count. Clean saves, create transition. Kirst with a full head of steam. You just got to close out on Holman even quicker. If he's got his hands free, you know he's letting it fly. And to your point earlier, Kark, 99 times 100, he's keeping it high.
But that's the same release point when he scored low, and that's why you have so much to think about. Like Quint, if you have a player like Marcus Holman who shoots from that same release point low and high, how are you tracking that?
I mean, you're doing your homework, you're studying, and then in the confines of the game, you got to turn your mind off and just try to react. But again, these great shooters, there's always a level of deception. All of them. Whether it's the eyes, the hands, the feet, the body, the twisters.
Not an over and back because that deflected or hit a Cannons player.
But it was going to be a shot clock violation. It is, so they dump it in the corner. 1.5 minutes left to go in this one.
Well, plenty of time here for Cannons, especially their ability to hit from 2-point range.
See how if the Atlas stretch a little and defend the arc.
Slani is one that can shoot a 2-point shot. 3 instead on the run. He does, but Troutner is there. Troutner finishing the game the way he started it. He made 4 saves right off the bat to start this game, and he's hot here in the 4th.
And with that doubleheader, Quint, I'd love to get your opinion here. I think starting Troutner today was a no-brainer, given the week that Entenmann had. With the back-to-back, is that a decision? Do you play Entenmann tomorrow just in terms of how taxing it is from a goalie perspective going back-to-back? And now Entenmann's been able to sit, watch a game, get his feet underneath him a little bit more.
Here we go.
I don't know. I will tell you, I watched Liam Entenmann warm up, and he struggled, quite honestly, with the pro shots. He was down on his knees a lot, and the ball was going in over his head. It was a rough warm-up for him today. So we'll see if Coach Pressler knows.
I would sit him even outside of that his week has been nuts, right? He won a national championship. He was a Tewaaraton finalist. He just showed up yesterday at camp.
Oh, what a pass again from Teat. And it's 𝐫𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚𝐥 on the receiving end. I wonder how many different players Teat has assisted on today. It's got to be 10 players, it seems.
Some assists are pedestrian. This was nasty. This was filthy. We're talking about the length of the field or the width of the field to a sprinting 𝐫𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚𝐥.
On the run.
Angles be gorgeous.
Yeah.
Incredible handle and finish by 𝐫𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚𝐥. Crediting Teat. To me now, watching the replay, this is more about 𝐫𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚𝐥, his ability to catch that and his body control and his stick skills.
Not to go into the crease, too. Like he almost hit complete halt, right?
I mean, that was like an alley-oop. Just get it in the general direction and let 𝐫𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚𝐥 take over. He's a little shaken up on the sideline. You hope he's all right.
I mean, that's a ridiculous pass. That's the 7th assist by Jeff Teat. And when you look at the Atlas last year, they were 7th in shots a season ago out of 8 teams. They have 49 shots today. They're going to be a volume offense, and with these 2 passers, if you're a finisher, if you're a shooter, I mean, this is...
Ready for this?
Yeah.
Teat's 𝐫𝐫𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐧𝐚𝐥, Camizio, Smith, Bowering, Schellenberger, Jacoby, and Dixon. All different players. 7 assists to 7 different players scoring goals.
That is ridiculous.
Years ago, this team's motto offensively was family style. Everybody eats. Teat right now is just dish it. And here you go. You want here?
You want a goal? Do you have a goal yet? You don't have a goal?
The biggest complaint is going to be like this when you're a little kid. Can I have seconds?
Can you imagine the Carcaterra house with everybody asking for seconds? Schellenberger gets another one.
It's an unbelievable offense to watch because the precision passes, the selflessness of a unit, a proven star in Jeff Teat, second pick in the draft, Connor Schellenberger. Welcome to the New York Atlas. Welcome to the PLL, young man. The Atlas are rolling.
We worry about his ability to distribute off ball.
I think the IQ and the offensive awareness of Jeff Teat is off the charts. Connor Schellenberger, well, I'd love to see these two in a classroom with Ryan Boyle, right, and dissecting things, and they have a button they have to hit. Who can hit it first? Who's smarter? Is it Teat?
Right.
Is it Schellenberger? Or Professor Boyle?
It would be like in A Beautiful Mind when he was writing the formulas on the board.
Yes.
I wouldn't understand a word about it.
It reminds me of music. You have 2 musicians who come together and magic happens.
And they're both stars, too. They don't have, like, these overbearing personalities that, like, I'm the guy. Well, give it to me. Like, they defer.
Jack.
Shot clock to 10. New York definitely willing to take some time off the clock right now. Turnover is going to give it back to Cannons. 5:13, still enough time, but the clock is winding. 7-point advantage for Atlas. Cannons can make hay in every one of their offensive possessions from here on out.
The back of envelope math is kind of a goal a minute. So if you're Atlas, these possessions, especially knowing.
Oh, and Troutner just robbed Holman.
Especially knowing that you got to play tomorrow, I would anticipate the bulk of their possessions using the full 2.
But you don't have a deep bench. Like, Quint, from your perspective down there, how would you manage the last 4 minutes and 39 seconds?
You want to use the clock. So have turnovers deep in offensive zone. No high in front of the cage turnovers that can lead to runouts. Defensively, I'm defending the 2. And by the way, I would expect to see Tim Troutner starting tomorrow afternoon in the pipes.
12 saves on the day. Loose ball in front. This is dangerous. Kirst is finally able to cover up. The other question, too, if you're Cannons, and you mentioned a goal a minute kind of pace, when do you start looking at shooting from beyond the arc, where you got to get a couple of points in a position? Well, there's an answer right there.
Yeah, there's different things at play. It's this game, right? There's kind of the winning the war, winning the battle, kind of like point differential matters, right? So the 7-goal differential, you start chipping away at this just from a application standpoint. We've seen come down to point differential, most notably the Cannons last year. They got the 2 seed over the 3 seed based off their point differential.
Kavanaugh, that's too tough of an angle. Now he tries to get it back to Holman, 10 to shoot. Campbell gives it up to Drenner. He thought about firing, but can't handle the pass. Now they're in desperation mode. Holman, no angle.
You know, props to Gavin Adler, too. You look at what he's done on Asher Knowlton. Asher Knowlton has 1 goal and 2 assists. Asher Knowlton was the leading point producer in the PLL a season ago. He's given up a lot of height. He's given up a lot of weight. And Coach Pressler, to Quint's point earlier, just felt like he could win that leverage game or he could stay on his hips. I think he's done a fantastic job, Quint.
How about Rexroad on Holman? He's got 2 goals, both in transition. Both in transition.
I agree with you both. The fact that we haven't mentioned Makar's name at all today.
Pick left. Pick left.
Adler's done a magical job. Road, make the group much improved from last year.
And nothing against Makar, but I just feel like Road and Adler had bigger tasks, right? With Makar on Kavanaugh, you know, obviously Matt's had a good game, but he's not the number 1 or 2 scorer in the league. I mean, they asked a lot of Rexroad and Adler today.
No, and it's an oddball matchup. You'd say, well, we're going to put our smallest defender on their biggest guy.
Gavin Adler, you look at him, he's like Hercules. He's jacked. He might be smaller.
He covered Sam Handley in college, correct?
Did.
Campbell fires wide, backed up by Knowlton.
Here it is. Yeah, here it is. Look at this.
Look at him sit down. Look at him sit down on the hip.
That's really good defense. That is good defense.
They slid.
They didn't need to.
They slid, though.
But they didn't need to. Why would they slid?
They
He wasn't
slid,
beat.
and Knowlton threw it to an open teammate right in front of the cage.
But was he beat? He didn't beat him.
Well, then why'd they slide?
They shouldn't have. That's the point. They should not have slid. No way.
The Atlas will win the first of 2 at home.
Oh, boy. Well, they got me.
They got you.
They got me.
Yeah,
they got
nobody
you.
else.
On
That is really something right there.
We want to know the best part of it? They got me, but you beat me to it, so you ate it.
I want to see the booth cam of that one.
I was ready to
I want to
jump
see the booth
off.
cam of that one on Twitter tonight.
I was ready to jump off this.
Right.
This.
We went from a beautiful mind to a home mind right there.
Dixon
in a matter
scored
of
every
seconds.
other way this year.
But from the angle, it's really hard to think how he even hit the back of the net.
Tell me about it.
Cotter held his ground.
Off the pipes. Pipes today,
it would have
too.
been a fitting end to this game to have Dixon score like that off of a feed from Schoenberger.
Dixon just sends it down the length of the field. Curse put it in play. 10 seconds left. Epple will hold for the final buzzer. And it sounds. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching the PLL on ESPN. Good night from Albany.